What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. A lot sooner than I thought, to be honest. I did not think I was going to be doing another video today, and I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious after voluntarily putting up pictures of Olivier Giroud directly next to me for the majority of that last video because I'm a moron and apparently love to be in pain just looking at a beautiful, handsome man. And then this, right? So I put on a more fun jacket. You guys complimented the jacket once before, so look, I'm just trying to make myself feel better. Anyway, we got more breaking news. We've got a huge development in the Cavan Sullivan story. He is going to Manchester City, but not yet. He is going to stay with the Philadelphia Union. All the details coming to you next. Too much pointing in the intro. I don't know what I'm doing. The Philadelphia Union and Manchester City have reached an agreement to transfer terms for American wonder kid, 14-year-old U.S. Youth International Cavan Sullivan. I'm told that after long negotiations, it took a while. The two sides were very apart because Sullivan had not agreed to a professional deal with Philly. Technically, City could have tried to wait until he was 18 and just sign him for training compensation. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, and a good outcome has come for all parties. The Union and City agreed to a deal. I'm told it's incentive-laden, and the Union will keep a very sizable sell-on percentage, which makes it worth their while for all the development that they've had in this player and his three brothers in their academy, including one player, Quinn Sullivan, currently in the first team. I think this is good news for everybody. It has the player's best interest in mind, which is the most important thing for any of these deals. Cavan Sullivan is finalizing a deal to sign the richest homegrown deal in MLS history with the Union first team. So he will be eligible to make his first team debut this season. In reporting this out over the last few weeks, I was speaking to folks at the club who think he's, if he stays at the club, if he signs a first team deal, they think he's going to debut this year. Again, he turns 15, I think, in September. So he might make his debut before his 15th birthday, which would be insane. It just shows how great this kid is. The Union and Sullivan's camp have been talking for a long time. The Union wanted to just sign this homegrown deal amid interest from City, Bayern, Real Madrid, Dortmund, insert any big team in Europe. They would have wanted this kid. He's, one of the biggest talents in his age group across the world, full stop. The Union had put an offer on the table that was the richest homegrown deal in league history. He was opting for the City deal for when he turns 18, and then discussions between the clubs, the player and the clubs, all that about where his development was best suited. Initially, the plan was going to be for Sullivan to go to Belgian's second-tier club, Lommel SK, part of the City football group, once he turns 16, because he has a German passport. He can go to Europe when he's 16. The Union's argument was staying here is better for his development than going to Belgium when he's 16. And also, we need to have it worth our while, right? Like, this was a prolonged discussion between both sides. This could have gotten ugly. They could have went to FIFA. There could have been, a bad outcome. The two sides could have stopped talking because City could have said, hey, screw it. We'll just sign him for training compensation when he turns 18 or whatever, right? So I'm very glad that cooler heads prevailed, and this is the best outcome for Cavan Sullivan's development, which at the heart of everything is most important. The Union want his development to be great. They want him to succeed at Manchester City. They want him to break into the first team and become a first-team player at Manchester City. They have always looked after their homegrown talents, their academy kids. Brendan Aronson, Mark McKenzie, they come back to Subaru Park regularly. Their social media accounts, they look at them like their sons, like they're graduates of this club. So that's the kind of the ethos that Philadelphia Union have, and they want the best for Cavan Sullivan. I will say, folks around the club are very happy that he's slated to be here until he's 18. And I will say that there is an agreement between all parties that if for some reason Cavan Sullivan has surpassed MLS by the age of 16 or 17, which is unlikely considering he's a child, right? That's unrealistic expectations. But if everybody feels like Cavan Sullivan has surpassed where this level is useful for his development, they've agreed that they will send him to one of City Football Group's European clubs that isn't Lommel, that isn't the Belgian second division, right? That could be Girona, that could be Troyes in France, or kind of wherever else, right? So that's another thing to watch. Sullivan did make his professional debut last weekend with the Philadelphia Union second team. They were playing in MLS Next Pro, which is where the second teams in America play. He came off the bench and he provided a delightful game-winning assist. Because of course he did. That's what this kid does. At every level, he immediately makes an impact. He knows everybody's watching him. I wouldn't be looking at the Philadelphia Union second. Like, there's Fabrizio Romano's tweeting about it, right? Like, there's so many people looking at that game because, oh man, Cavan Sullivan might debut. This was like at any academy stage. At all of these tournaments, whatever field had Cavan Sullivan and his Philadelphia Union teammates on it, that's the field that had the most spectators. That's the field that had the most phones trying to record, not the game, whatever the hell Cavan Sullivan was doing. So this kid has been dealing with pressure. He's got 3 older brothers. He's got a dad who played pro and then was a college coach. His grandfather was the college coach at Villanova. He's got a soccer family around him. He's got older brothers and a dad who ain't going to let his head get too big. So just talking to people around this kid, they believe that mentality, that drive, that work rate, paired with his incredible technical ability and soccer IQ is what's going to take him to the next level. This is why Manchester City wanted him. All in all, I'm very glad that everybody reached an agreement that I feel is the player's best interest. And who cares what I think, right? That's just my own opinion. Everybody feel free to make their own, whether it would have been better for him to go to Lamo at 16. I don't really think so. I'm open to that argument. But for me, this is very good, very big news. For Philly, I think it's great that he's going to be in the first team for a couple years. Like Chris Richards left FC Dallas before making a first team appearance for Bayern Munich. And that's awesome. Like Gio Reyna, same thing, NYCFC. That's awesome. That's great for them. I also think it's cool with an Alphonso Davies story. He was playing for the Vancouver Whitecaps first team when he was 15 until he turned 18. He went to Bayern. That's really cool too. So I'm glad to see these different pathways. For me, this is what I'd prefer. I think that Gio and Chris Richards both did the absolute right thing for their careers. I still think that both of them would have had excellent careers if they started in MLS for a year or two or whatever it is. So we could be splitting hairs here, but I'm selfishly excited to watch Cavan Sullivan take his first professional steps in MLS with the Philadelphia Union at a team that really wants him to succeed, with a coach who has been, Jim Curtin, has proven to get the most out of these young players, to trust these young players. It's not, he benched Mexican international Marco Fabian to give Brendan Aronson his debut, and he never looked back. And then Brendan Aronson now is at Union Berlin, was at Salzburg, Leeds, all this. This is what the Philadelphia Union do, and I absolutely trust them with Cavan Sullivan's future over the next 4 years, and I'm so glad that they're going to be compensated for it and incentivized for it, and I'm really glad that he's going to be at Manchester City one day or somewhere else in Europe, because this kid is the real deal. Really quickly, some more Manchester City news from me today. I'm at least a little bit surprised that I've been popping up so much on City, but I was also told that Manchester City are nearing a deal to sign highly rated England youth international Christian McFarlane from NYCFC. He turns 18 in January. He has an English passport, but the idea would be for him to go next winter, not anytime immediately. He's 17 years old, left back, highly rated. His physical profile, his technical ability. He's been an absolute regular for England U17s. He's still eligible for the United States, but he's been in camps with the England U17s. They seem to be valuing him more than the United States do. We'll see what happens there. But again, that's a big talent. I was told, hey, insert any team from England, and they probably wanted him. He's got the English passport, everything. He's trained at Manchester City. He left a good impression on the club, and the club left a good impression on him. I was told kind of a few months ago that, look, it's probably going to be City just because of the mutual appreciation between player and club. And that's where we're at. Nothing is kind of finalized or signed or done yet between NYCFC and Manchester City, again, under the same City Football Group umbrella. But Christian McFarlane, barring any huge changes or the deal falling apart, he's going to be at Manchester City, and the plan would be next year. But again, nothing is written up, nothing is drawn. Who knows if that changes? But I'm looking for Christian McFarlane to make his first team debut for NYCFC this year. He's currently their backup left back. He might even start this weekend, I believe Nick Cushing was saying. But he is one of the very biggest talents around this league that probably not many people have heard of, just because he hasn't made his first team debut. Joe Scally was sold to Borussia Mönchengladbach from NYCFC before he made his first team debut. And look at him now. He's in the national team. He's been a constant starter in Germany. That's what you have to look at when you're looking at this Christian McFarlane kid. So very excited for these two young talents going to Manchester City. This is one of the richest clubs in the world, and they are heavily investing in American young talent, and particularly, again, Christian McFarlane was produced by NYCFC, England Youth International, right? But Cavan Sullivan, born and bred through the Philadelphia Union Academy. They beat out Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, whoever you want to insert. It's really exciting just to see the level of growth in development in this country, and also the level of recognition from the biggest, smartest, and best clubs in the world. All right, that'll do it. Hopefully there won't be a third video today. I can't possibly imagine that there's going to be. I think that this will change the schedule moving forward. This is too much. I don't want to overload you guys with dumb videos of me standing and talking and moving my hands too much, because I'm New Jersey Italian, of course. So yeah, thanks for checking in. This was just too big to ignore, and I had to whip up, 10 minutes on it, however long it's been. Who knows? I've just been rambling. What the hell do I know?